Hello everyone, welcome back to this part 2 of my Tumult Championship games. If you're interested in Axiom, Bravos or Lyra, please follow the link in the description below. If you're looking for the Ordis, Muna and Yzmir decks, then hop into the decks.
So, then it's Teja and Naru. For me, it's about the little plants and putting some boost on and getting that in. So we have first off the spindle harvesters, of course. It's a little plant with Teja. You already get one boost, so you only have to give one more boost to have it resupply. That can be done by the Muna Bastion, by the Ogun with my uniques as well. So that's why I play the Spindle Harvesters rare, because the resupply is really great. Also on the Aloe Vera, you can play this as soon as turn 2, give it anchored for the 1 mana cost, resupplying as well. Also, it's a little plant. The Dracena, also anchored, getting boost at the start of your turn, so it's really great. Same is for the Sneezer's Rooms. They get anchored as well, giving some boost at noon. I got also the Snoozer's Room, just because it's a 2 mana plant, and for the stats I think it's great. As well, it's almost as good as a Frog Prince. And then we have some cards that are specifically there to be resupplied, like the Muna Caregiver, target character with hand cost 3 or less gains anchored. So things like the Aloe Vera that are already in play gain another anchor to stay into play. Same for the Spindle Harvesters, same for the Sneezer's Rooms, they get bigger and bigger. Muna Druid is the same as the Caregiver. It's an excellent turn 1 as well. A 4/3/3 with the boost from Teja, and it's great. And then I had 2 Ogons. Because we run a lot of plants, I think Ogun is great to boost them all up. I only run 2 because I think that would be enough, because I really like the Lyra Thespian, and specifically for the decks against Traced, where you can put this 2 mana 4 stat character, or maybe with the Teja boost a 2 mana 5 stat character, and it's really great for its value, and you need the stats to get over the Traced as well. For my uniques, I run 3 Corgis. I also used to run those in Arjun. As soon as something you control gains anchored, I give 2 boosts to or the Corgi itself or to something in Forest. I think that's great, because we have a lot of small things that get anchored by themselves, like the Harvesters, the Shrooms, maybe the Aloe Veras, the Dracaenas. So we have a lot of things that we can boost with this sort of deck. It's a little bit more aggressive, so we want to put on the stats quickly, fast, and win the game. To make sure that our anchored character is a little bit protected, we use the Floral Tent with of course a 1 mana resupply. That's already great. If you resupply a Druid or Caregiver, you can directly anchor something on the field as well. Specifically powerful with anchoring a Corgi. And as soon as you anchor something, if you get a character gets removed, they will get remove the anchor instead. So it's really great protection as well. Spindle Bastion is a little bit same. If the opponent tries to remove it, they need to pay 2 more for each target. And at noon, one of your characters gains 1 boost, and it's great with the Harvesters. Getting the 2nd boost on the Harvesters to make sure that you get at noon another resupply. It's great. Then for my removal suite, it's a Beauty Sleep, 1 mana sleep to finish the game. It's great. A Requiem, the 4 cost, make sure that it can remove all the landmarks you probably want to. And if there's something you cannot hit with the Requiem, we use the Mana Reaping. So just to make sure that we can get hit of those highs, maybe some Hydrocaenas, maybe something in outside that's giving us problems. So I think that's for me this deck. You can also run this with a little bit more of ramp and go into the Hydrocaena version. but I like this a little bit a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more small to the ground, as you can see in the mana curve as well. So that's it for me and Tasia. So now we are moving on to one of my favorite decks so far, and it's the Yzmir Wingspan. For me, first I will go to the Monolith of Bastion at noon. You create a token. If you got the Monolith out, you will get everything will get a boost. There are two versions of this deck. You can run one without the Monolith and one with the Monolith, and I've chosen specifically for the current meta to run this. Traced seemed to tag in those rare grams, and then it might be best to not play this card anymore. I will have a close look on that for myself. And why do I bring this up early? We run the Foundry mechanic to make sure that it's a really good one-cost unit. I mean, you need one-cost units to we'll get it some progression quickly. If you play this on turn 1, you can use the support ability, then the Monolith on turn 2, and you're already in a great position yourself. Now, specifically if you went with the mechanic 2-0, 2-1 on the previous turn, so it's really great. An upgrade of the mechanic, a trooper, a 1-mana 1/2. What can we say more? It's really strong for its stats. It's a 1-mana after you. You can play it everywhere to win a side. It's really strong. One of the greatest cards in this deck is Jack Frost. I would never play less than 3. The arrow play from anywhere exhaust is so good. It helps you win games against Bravos. It helps you win games against the Mirror, against Traced, making sure that they need to play more stuff from hand than they have in the reserve, so it's breaking them a little bit. This card is really great at the moment. He isn't that great against Muna, which tend to anchor a lot, but as soon as they get back to the reserve and you exhaust them, then they tend to have no much draw into their hand, so I think it can be quite effective there as well. The Ordis Cadets it's a 3-off because it's a body spawner. It's just a 2-mana 2/1, which on itself isn't that great, but with the Bastion and with the Kakobas, this card is really needed to make sure that we get those two activated. So yeah, that's why I run the Cadets. The Monolith Legate is of course one of the strongest sabotage effects at the moment in the game, specifically against decks against Traced, and again specifically at decks against the Bravos. Sabotage After Rest is really great. I only run 2 because late game I don't want to see this card because the 2/1/2 stat line is not that great, and probably the Sabotage will never come up at that moment anymore. The Attorney is here for draw a card. One of the plays you see a lot of nowadays is turn 1, play the Attorney on your companion expedition, and your opponent needs to see what they're playing into. So are they gonna give you a card, or are they gonna give you the expedition? And that's always really great for the Attorney in the gate. So if you play this one, your opponent needs to choose which side they want to win and which side they want to let you win. And if they don't choose the free side, then the Attorney, you will draw a card or will get a legate. The Ordis Accountant is just a 2-mana 2/2, but whenever you joins a character when this is in the reserve, it gets a boost, and you can spend one of those boosts to have some target gains and sleep. So it's really great to have, lying there in the reserve with 1 or 2 boosts and get something out of your opponent, like for a finishing turn or for a big character. It's really great. So yeah, it's only there to make sure that you have another sleep available. Then we have the Ordis Spy. well, just like Jack Frost, it's a great tool to have to sabotage, making sure that you're getting the card advantage needed. The deck doesn't have a lot of draw itself, so to make sure that the opponent doesn't get freely, sabotage and the exhaust mechanics are here and are really, really needed to make sure that you can win the game. The Aegis Templar, it's a really good turn 1 card, but also in the later stage of the game, you can play it for 1 with the scout effect, get a token in, and as soon as you have the token in, it gets back to reserve and you can play it again. It's a little bit like a sub-hash ability where you pay 1 for a token and then have a card in reserve that you can play directly as well. This can be used as a setup, also for Kakoba or maybe for the Monolith, because you will get a booster token or something. Yeah, in later stages of the game, it's just a 1 mana after you that can be played. Already said a few times, the Kakoba, I think this rare is really great in the current meta against the Traced and the Gojos, and also a little bit of the Baziras, because the big problem I had was closing out the game. So as soon as I was almost there to finish it, I couldn't get it over the finish line, and the Kakoba is helping me there. So a 3 mana 5 stat character, sometimes with a Monolith, a 6 stat character is really great to make sure you win that lane that you needed to win. And that's why I run the Cadets, that's why the Templar is very handy as well. Just getting those characters onto play. For my uniques, I have 2 things. 1, I want to draw, so this Kakoba Leading Commander is just giving me a draw. If I play something like the Cadets and play this one after 5 mana, I get some stats into the field and also draw a card. Sometimes it's even great to have that Ordis Recruit available as well if you don't have the mana. Specifically with the Monolith Bastion, it can come up sometimes. And then I have the 2 cards that made me play Ordis in the first place. First is this Sandman, both are 4 mana, 4 from hand and from reserve, 2/0. And if you have less than 8 mana orbs, I can target the character and give it a sleep. And as soon as it leaves the expedition field, I can draw 2 cards. Just like the Kakoba, we want to fill ourselves with some cards. This is a really great turn 2 play. If you are going second, your opponent is playing something, you play the Sandman, sleep something, and you make sure that you will not go 2/0 in the expedition. It gets back to your hand, you draw back to the reserve, you got some cards, and it's really great. And also 4 mana to finish the game sometimes. And then one of the cards that wins me the most of the games, my other Sandman. I use the Sandman specifically because I have some room for the Kakoba Legion. So if you don't have Sandman uniques, you need some little bit more sleep, and that's why I freed up my rare slots with the Sandmans. From anywhere I can create 2 tokens, and as soon as I have a token, I can have something asleep. It can be yourself, and then you can give it 2 boosts, or one of your opponent characters. I tend to use sleep something of my own, give it 2 boosts, and then when this comes back from reserve, I can create also 2 tokens, but I can also create 2 characters with 2 boosts, and then it's probably as soon as this one hits from the reserve a 2/0 for me. As we already have slept a character from the previous day with 2 boosts, we get a new a token in the hero expedition side. We give that 2 boosts. We play the Sandman. We get 2 tokens and give one of those 2 tokens 2 boost, and you get a 4 mana 8/6/6 8/8/6 all of the suddenly, and the opponent is really having trouble finding and closing out the game. For the spells, we got teamwork training. I must say this is one of the things I don't use that often anymore because we got license withdrawal at the moment. but still, it's a great card to get things removed. We have the Ordis cadets, and in theory, you can play the cadets, have 3 characters, and on turn 2, you can already return something from your opponent with 3 mana cost back to the hand. It's still really great also to finish games, making sure that at the end of the game you have 3, 4, 5 characters already on the field and play teamwork training to get that win in. So it's still a really good finish. The other one is License Withdrawal. You can discard target boosted character or a target permanent. This one is great for everything that runs permanence. Even against Bravos, you can remove the Mess, you can remove Haven. And those are valid targets with License Withdrawal, just to make sure that they don't get those extra boost or extra card advantage in. Now you pay 3 mana to remove a 2 mana permanent, but that's okay in most of the games. And the rare I have left, I will use a Gift of Self. I used to run 2 of them, but I didn't like it a lot. But sometimes you do need it, because if you are winning an expedition and some expedition you will lose and you have a character there, sacrifice it, draw 2 cards, and your hand is refilled again. So I think this is a good card. Specifically with the token you are generating, you are always getting something out of it. It's also really great. Starter of the turn, sacrifice your token, the field is open, you drew yourself 2 cards and you have more options to play that turn as well. Specifically with all the low cost things, you probably can play both of them that you drew. Again, real low to the cost. Mana curve, you see, or Sedments and the Monolith Bastion are a little bit higher, but I think this is really great. And also the 3 mana cost from hand is a little bit lower, because we have the Aegis Templar coming in at 1. So I think Sigismar is still really great to play in the current meta with Trace and the Bravos things. And all because of License Withdrawal was that strong, and also the very early tempo game is really great. So, and then we got a last hero here, Acacia and Taru. I wanted to plan a Thanos video, but because of the nerf I had too short of the time to make sure that the deck was actually playable, so I choose for Acacia. So let's dive into the deck. For me it's a little bit like a control matchup. Try to get at least 1-1 every day, or 0-1 if you can, of course. Try to win a lot. You will become stronger as soon as the match goes forward, so that's great. First, to get into the early stages, Studious Disciple is great. It's a 1 cost, a little after you, and it has a very good support ability. Like the next spell you play this turn costs 1 less. We have 13 spells, so there's always something that we can reduce. Screaming Starfish. Again, we need some 1-drops to fill in the curve as well. It's great, just a 1 mana 1/1 little after you effect. It has a support ability. When you play a spell, it gains 1 boost up to a max of 2. So it can also be a 2 mana 3/3 that is very nice sometimes as well. I ran 2 Chrysalis. This is certainly there to make sure that you can stay a little bit on the board, but also the token that you create will make sure that maybe on a second day you can play a Baku next to it and you have a 4/4 on your expedition instead of the Baku that's normally a 2/2. So it's great early 1-drop, 2-drop, and it helps you getting out a token as well, and maybe later in the game you can somewhere go 2-0 with the extra stats it provides. 2 Fairy, because it's so annoying. A 2 mana 1/1 with a Sabotage. Very good against Ordis. Sigismar very good against almost all Bravos decks. It will get you the card advantage you need, next to all the draw and exhaust we have as well. And then we got the Alchemist. It's here again for the early days. A 3 mana 3/3/3 is on par, and then from reserve is just a 1 mana 1/1/1. That's, well, again a little after you, so you can see what your opponent is doing with all your low characters, and then play your spells to remove them. Baba Yaga, a 3 mana and 2 from reserve for a 3/2/2 with draw a card. We want to have the card advantage. We want to draw cards to make sure that we don't break into the late game. It's a really great card as well. I run 2 Silas in the rare variant. Again, from hand we draw a card, and then from everywhere we get 1 boost per card in your hand. If you play this a little bit on the late game, it can be like a 4 mana 8/8/8 or something, and it will help you get in the early games to get you some cards, and in the late games it will get you probably to a 2-0 or 2-1 finish somewhere, because it's really good. Baku, as a Bravos and Sigmar player myself, this is one of the cards that you don't want to see. If you don't have the card advantage yourself and you need to discard a card from your hand twice with the Baku, it doesn't matter if you go 1-0 or 2-0 down with Akasha. You will get the advantage, and somewhere the lost cards will keep up to you. A little bit in the late game, a 7 mana Kurokami. The opponent also discards a card, but now to the reserve, and then you exhaust all cards in reserve, including your own. So just make sure that you know that as well. This is great, right? This is great for cards that like to play in the reserve, like a fan or something, but also again making sure that the decks with not that much card advantage, they discard a card from their hand and then lock the reserve. So this is a really powerful Aklut, and you even get a 5/5/5 as well. For my uniques, I got a Moth Breeder, just a simple scout tool that can create a token from hand. And as soon as I create a token, I have a try to gain fleeting. So from hand is a 2/2 give something fleeting, and from the reserve it's just a 2 mana 1/1/3. And whenever I create somewhere else a token, which I probably don't do other than the Chrysalis. So yeah, it's great. And then I run 2 Hungers. The first at dusk, Dark Opponent discards a card from their hand, and I can put a card from my hand and discard all other cards in play. It's just it saves me a rare slot at the moment. And otherwise, if you don't have rare unique Hungers, you can play the rare, and maybe cut the Silas that way. And my other one is somewhere not shown, but it will leave, I think on arrow, a token on the other side. So yeah, I got a hunger and a token on the other side, which is great, and of course the hunger effect. For spells, I got 2 Rime Frost. 1 mana exhaust the card is great. You can make sure that your opponent exhausts something. They need to play that again. And it's a really great after you, and making sure that your opponent may be losing some cards as well, because if they don't play the other card from reserve, you can play the Rime Frost as well, and you have unlocked completely. Magical Training, 1/2 mana, draw a card. Not much to be said other than that. License Withdrawal, I think one of the strongest removal cards from the latest set. You can discard a boost character with hand cost 3 or less, or a permanent with hand cost 3 or less, specifically good against the Muna players, but also against the Traced or the other action heroes that might run low permanents, but also the Bravos, Mess, and the Bastion. Really great to have. Then I run 2 Evanescence and 2 Off You Go, just sending the characters to reserve. Evanescence can, whenever you play another spell, can get a little bit higher in value, and sending them back well, exhausted, so they can play it right again, and off you go is, well, the other way around. You have something to reserve a little bit higher from the get-go, but it doesn't get exhausted. And lastly, I run 2 Banishing Gates because I really want to make sure that I can remove hives. I can remove big characters like Atsari is really popular, so getting a 4-mana remove that and Kaibara or something is really great. For the deck itself, it has a low mana curve from the start and then a little bit higher for the end game with all impactful high cost cards that will lock your opponents for sure. So yeah, I think this is my Akasha deck. Yeah, really good into a lot of little bit more less aggressive playstyles. I think you're still struggling against Yzmir. I think you might still be struggling against Bravos, or you must have all the cards like Rhyme Frost and Baku and Kurokami. Then you can lock them out, and then you can win the game fairly easy. So yeah, that's it for my Yzmir deck.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed all my Tumult Championship decks, and I hope you will win one of the faction cards or even become a first champion and win the map. I am the Bravos header, and I hope to see you again soon. If you want to help me out, please subscribe or leave a comment in the channel.